Hey teams, Lauren here with Bizrok. In this week's video, I want to talk about the importance and really just the power of a thank you. So if you've ever done training with us before and we've talked about ways to make a unique or exceptional experience, you've probably heard us talk about the simple gift of a thank you, specifically a thank you card. So, you spend so much time with your patients, and sometimes we think about thank you cards going to new patients, and maybe you guys have a thank you, a new patient thank you gift, or maybe you mail out a thank you card to your new patients. But what about your recall patients? What about the patients who have been coming to see you for years and years and years, and you always have these wonderful, great conversations with them, and sometimes it's just nice to get a thank you card to them? Those are the patients I'm talking about. The patient that comes in, they've been coming to see you guys for years, they always show up on time, they never cancel last minute, and they do what you share with them and guide them to do when it comes to treatment planning or whatever recommendation you have in your practice. Those are the patients that I want to acknowledge. See, sometimes we put so much emphasis on the front end of a process, but we forget about those recalls. So when I talk about thank you cards, I always encourage our practices, don't feel like you need to start writing every single patient a thank you card. That's not what I'm saying. You want to make them feel special. You want to make it unique. You want to make it memorable. But if you ever had that patient that's sitting in your chair and you're like, gosh, I love when Mrs. Jones comes in. She and I just have the best conversations, and I love that I get to have her in my chair that day. That's the patient that you send the thank you card to. It's that extra step. It's that cherry on top. So whenever you have that patient, maybe it's the patient of the day for you specifically, and you're like, gosh, I love this patient. And, we talked about their upcoming trip to Europe, and, we swapped stories about children, and I love this patient. Guys, I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to challenge you, send them a thank you card. You'll be so surprised how that just sets somebody's day and blows them away. Sometimes you'll get thank you cards back. If you're in one of my southern states, you might get some sort of dessert or baked goods. I've heard those stories over the years. But guys, they're above and beyond. They're unexpected. See, when people come into the dental office, even if they've been coming to us for years, they expect a verbal thank you as they're checking out and ending their appointment with you. But what they don't expect is a thank you card. Now, we've talked about corporations in the past and making sure that you're doing something exceptional, doing something above and beyond that the corporations aren't doing and they haven't figured out yet. Guys, this is where you can shine. So imagine this. Let's paint this story, okay? So you have Mrs. Jones, who's been coming to you for over a decade, and you love her. She's your favorite patient. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to listen to what Bizrok said. I'm going to write this patient a thank you card. And so you write her a thank you card. And maybe it's, Mrs. Jones, thank you so much for being an amazing patient to us. I love when you come in, and I loved getting to hear about your upcoming trip to Europe. Please let us know how else we may serve you and your family. Now, if you are practicing anything that we've taught you about reviews and referrals, and asking patients to share with their community about the amazing experience in your office, how likely do you think when Mrs. Jones leaves the office that day and 3 days later gets an unexpected thank you card from you, how likely do you think she is to remember, you know what? I love that dental office. In fact, they asked me to do a review, and I meant to, I planned to, and I totally forgot. Let me give them a review. Or maybe they're at the grocery store or the ball field, and they hear somebody complaining about a bad dental experience. And even though it's a stranger for them, they jump right in and they're like, hey, I overheard your conversation. Can I share with you about my dental office? They're amazing. Guys, all of the little things that you're doing in your office, that's what truly makes you exceptional. So again, I'm not saying go out there and write a handwritten thank you card for every single patient. And what I'm definitely not saying, so please don't do this, is having a thank you card printed so that it's generic for every patient. Guys, be exceptional. Make it customized for your patient. Nobody wants a generic thank you. What do they do with those generic thank yous? They look at it for a second and then they toss it in the trash. It's a blip on their radar and they move on from it. So be willing to go above and beyond. Be willing to do what others are not willing to do and write that thank you card. So again, here's what I always recommend. If you've never done these before, start small. Write one a week. Just start there. Imagine the power of a thank you if every single team member wrote just one patient a thank you card every single week. Now, as you start to get some traction with this, imagine this. What if every single team member wrote one thank you card per one random patient that day, every day? Could you imagine the compound effect of writing a thank you card to different patients and how the community would respond to you guys? Guys, I'm telling you, it's unique, it's different. It's not the automatic email thank you message that goes out or the generic happy birthday card that goes out to patients. So if you're doing those, I'm not saying stop doing those, but what I am saying is, why don't you allocate those resources to a custom thank you card to your patient? So guys, here's my challenge today. Whatever day you're watching this video, my challenge is to write one thank you card this week, just one. One thank you card to a patient that really stood out to you, one patient that you had an amazing conversation with. Just write them a thank you card, and next week, write two. Challenge yourself, continue to grow, continue to get better, and write two unexpected handwritten thank you cards. And over time, if you stick with this, you will see the power of those thank yous, and you will see the compound effect of your patients feeling very grateful that they get to see you in your dental office. So guys, as always, if you need any help, if you need some additional guidance, please reach out to us. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you and serving you soon.